Okay, so 1776, that's when the country starts. So first we have to break up with England. Then you have the Declaration of Independence, so greatest breakup letter ever, written by Thomas Jefferson. After we break up, we become a country. So real country, you have to have a blueprint, a plan for it. It turns into the Constitution. Inside the Constitution, you have the Bill of Rights. You have the government that's formed, and then you had Alexis de Tocqueville, who super loved America, and then he said America was great because of its populism, individualism, liberty, laissez-faire, and egalitarianism.
1830s.
In the 1830s. Your turn.
My turn?
Yes.
1861 to 1865, America engages in its first civil war. It ends slavery. The 13th Amendment will end slavery officially. 14th Amendment gives people citizenship, which means that if you're a citizen of this country, you have due process and you will be protected under the laws of this country. The 15th Amendment will give former slaves the right to vote. The Union is preserved as a result of this war. Then you move on into the 1800s, 1876 to 1900. This is what we call the Industrial Era or Gilded Age. It's a time period of urbanization where cities are growing. There are captains of industry, and these are good people, such as Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, and other people that invent things. They're also considered robber barons because they exploit their workers and they create monopolies. They believe in laissez-faire. Laissez-faire, the government will not interfere in business, and this is the time when the government doesn't interfere. You have negative effects of industrialization, which is the political machines, which were corrupt political officials that control the workings of a city. You got nativism, another thing. There were a lot of Americans born here in the United States that did not like immigrants because they were taking away the jobs of the American people. Tenements, bad results of industrialization. This is where people used to live in crowded, windowless apartments, and you would have all these people living in really crappy conditions. You also have child labor. That's a common practice during the age of industrialization. Children were forced to work because their parents were not getting paid enough, so now you had to send the child to go work to support the family. You have big business growing, such as railroads, organized labor, and you have political machines. That's also part characteristics.
Okay, and then you have the problems in the Gilded Age, so you try and fix them with the Progressive Era. So in this Progressive Era, a lot of it is giving the people power, giving people a voice. So the third parties, they gave they gave a voice to the farmers, they gave a voice to the workers. You have a president, President Teddy Roosevelt creates a square deal. So he's gonna try and make things fair and square for everybody. He also creates the Panama Canal so we can go around the world a whole lot faster. In order to fix these problems, you need muckrakers. So muckrakers, los chismosos, the ones that expose the bad thing that's happening. You also have an attempt to fix all the problems. So then you have amendments. So 16th Amendment, that's gonna fix economic problems by taxing. Initiative, recall, referendum. This is where people have a voice in government so they can initiate a law, they can get rid of a bad person, a bad government official, and they can create new laws. And then you have labor unions to help the workers. The 17th Amendment, you have more voice in government because senators are elected by the people. 19th Amendment, women have more voice in government, and that's Susan B. Anthony. So Susan B. Anthony was the one that pushed for the 19th Amendment for women. And then along with industrialization, so Ford can also go in the 1920s, but that's when he starts having his assembly line and making things a whole lot faster. And then 1898, you move from domestic, so from what's happening in America, to foreign policy, what's happening outside of foreign policy. So you have the Spanish-American War. This is where America becomes a world power. So big thing that happens, we become a world power, we kick butt in 4 months, and it creates imperialists like Alfred T. Mahan, who wants a huge navy. In the Spanish-American War, you have Teddy Roosevelt. He's part of the San Juan Hill. We get Puerto Rico and Guam and the Philippines because imperialism, you take over other countries, and then we're able to trade with China. So open door policy, you're trading with China. Okay, your turn.
1914 to 1919, this is the beginning of World War I. In Europe, the United States remains neutral as a result of this war. The European conflict challenges the United States policy of neutrality. We will enter, and this one, let me put it over here because this is afterwards. The United States will enter war in 1917, and there are two main reasons, and we talked about this before, why the United States enters World War I. One, the Germans are sinking American ships without warning. That's what you call